situations like in Paris, yes, meaning the Paris attacks, without sounding apologetic. Well, there's nothing for us to apologize for. Why are we apologizing? This is exactly the kind of thing that the Ottomans put a stop to. This is exactly the kind of thing that Hazrat Ali put a stop to. People who are taking the religion and using it for the egoistic ideas. That's why the Dalatil Aliyah, the highest Dawlat, the Ottomans, they're holding on to the traditions of the Prophet and Hazrat Ali. Everyone is talking Shahi Merdan, Shahi Merdan, Shahi Merdan. But you don't even know how to stand up for a truth and to speak for truth. There was a group of people during his time, and they were opportunists. They saw the conflict between him and Hazrat Muawiyah, radiallahu an. They're looking at the confusion that is happening, and both of them trying to resolve it according to their own ways, coming together. Coming together and to say, if you're not solving it, I'm going to solve it. No matter how strong Hazrat Muawiyah was, Hazrat Ali defeated him. But when they were having that conflict, there was another group, opportunists. People who just use religion, no spirit. This is what tariqat is, to teach you spirit. You can go up and down, you can say Allah, Allah, Allah so many billions of times, but if you don't have the spirit of what? Yeah, Ruhullah. That's what Hazrat Isa was coming to bring, tariqat. To those people who were carrying religion properly. His own nation, carrying religion properly, doing everything properly, super properly. But he says, you don't have the spirit, I'm coming to give you the spirit. What did they do to him? They came together to crucify him. And Allah, through His power, picked him up by the angels, saved him to the first paradises, until the Akhir Zaman, when he's going to come, when the confusion that happened in his time will be happening in the Akhir Zaman in a huge scale. At that time it happened in a small place. Small place. Now it's happening everywhere. What is that? Everyone is saying they are so religious, they are so good ones. They're doing everything properly, but there is no spirit. So Ruhullah, the spirit of Allah, the spirit of Haqq, the spirit of Rahman, and the spirit of Rahim. So tariqats, they come to bring you that. And what is the empire that brought you tariqat? What is the empire that their empire is standing on tariqat? That from the porter to the sultan, they all have sheikhs, and they give the highest priority to the awliya Allah, to the Ahlul Bayt, to the Sahabe Kiram, to the Prophet ﷺ. Which empire is that? That is the Ottoman Empire. And they are looking to see the Sahabe Kiram, what they did during that time, what kind of confusion, and they say we must take example from that and we must do it. So during Hazrat Ali's time and Hazrat Muawiyah's time, when there was a conflict, there was a group that they were praying. They're saying, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah also. They were praying 5 times a day. They were giving zakat. They were doing everything properly. But they say, we're not going to obey no one, no man except for Allah. No one can have authority over us. We are responsible only to Allah. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying openly in the ayat al-Karimah, obey Allah, obey His Prophet, and obey His rightly guided leaders. So the leader is appointed to you, you have to obey. If you obey him, it is like you're obeying the Prophet. It is like you're obeying Allah. So now, this group came out and they say, we don't believe in Hazrat Ali, we don't believe in Hazrat Muawiyah. We are independent. They stopped their conflict with each other. Hazrat Ali hunted down this group of people, that they were very violent. This is not ideological difference. This is not conceptual difference. This is not philosophical difference. This difference caused blood and tears to be shed to the ground. They stopped their war. Hazrat Ali hunted down these Kharijis, and he finished them. Some traces here and there survived, but they were never became a threat to the main body of the Muslims, to the Ummah, or to the teachings of Islam. Teachings of Islam that went from north and south, east and west, bringing light and civilization everywhere. The teachings of Islam that finally, when the Ottomans, they took the Khilafat, Sultan Selim Khan, Jannat Makan, he took the Khilafat by the order of the Prophet ﷺ. Now, with the support of the Prophet and the Awliya Allah, with the support of the Ahlul Bayt, they started to build this empire strong. Sometime later, one person came out. This person knows Islam. Religion, let's not say Islam, religion he knows. Back and forth, up and down, he knows everything properly. But his main idea is, all you practicing Islam, you are all wrong. You've been wrong for centuries. I am right. To make it right, now because all of you are wrong, it is halal now for me to slaughter all of you, to finish all of you. That person is called Ibn Taymiyyah. So many people are going to be upset with me. So many of these shaitan Wahhabis, they call Ibn Taymiyyah Shaykhul Islam. He's not Shaykhul Islam, he's Shaykhul Shaitan. The one who forbid, and he's a very big scholar, he's saying no wasila, no intercession, no one between you and Allah. Meaning Allah is not sending anyone. Allah is not sending anyone, not sending any compassion, not sending any mercy to take you, to bring you closer to Him. That one who says anyone who goes to the tomb of a prophet or a saint is committing a shirk. That one who says Allah has a form. Again, this is not ideological difference. This is not concept. This is blood and tears and flesh and blood. He came out. He says, I'm right. All of you are wrong. I'm right, and if I have power, all of you, I'll finish you. Because you're not Muslims. But he came out with the idea. And when the Sultan heard about it, he punished him. He threw him down a well. He punished him. Burnt all his books. Which is showing what? Always, when there is holiness, there's going to be some confusion in that. This is the nature of the world. When there is holiness, Shaitan is running then towards that holiness to try to bring it down. And it is the responsibility of those people who are holy to be awake and to know this is coming. Shaitan is not attracted to evil. He is evil. He is attracted to holiness to make the holy to become evil. You understand? So the Sultan finished him, burnt his books, couple survive here and there. So the Muslims and the Muslim leaders, the Khalifas, they have always protected the ummah and the whole world from this kind of dajjaliyat, from this kind of shaitanic behavior. They've always stopped it. Fast forward some years, some centuries. During the time of the Ottomans, one person from a family, from a lineage of scholars, father was a scholar, relatives are all scholars, brother was a scholar, big scholars, grandfather was a scholar. They're all very big scholars, meaning they know Islam back and forth, front and back. And his ego, meaning that evil side of him, he is not trained. His father warned people about him. His own brother warned people about him. This has knowledge, but this person is not too good. This one start to have certain ideas about how Islam should be, how the Muslims should be. Discovered some books that survived from the time of Ibn Taymiyyah, that one who says that Allah has a form, Allah is sitting on the arsh, Allah is standing, Allah is coming down. Reading his books, then he got support from people. He got support from outsiders, from foreigners, boosting him to spread his teachings. He came from an area called Najd, that the Prophet says, in Najd, 2 horns of shaitan will come out. Horns in Islam means authority. This person came from Najd. His name is Abdul Wahab. He come up with a new idea taken from some centuries before from Ibn Taymiyyah to save so many Muslims. All the Muslims, they have fallen back into mushrik, into paganism. No one is practicing Islam properly. They have become grave worshippers. We must finish them all and bring Islam back to year 0. His ideas attracted this group of people. The family is called Ibn Saud. Attracted them. The Ottoman Empire at that time, they were fighting maybe 50 fronts. Enemies coming at every front. And these two coming out, spreading this idea, and now with one horn that is religious authority and the other horn which is political power. When these two, they got together, they became strong. Then they started terrorizing the area there, killing and murdering, saying these are not Muslims, these are kafirs. They're worse than that. That's how Wahhabis, they hate the Sufis. They say at least kafirs, they have a chance to say shahadat, but these Sufis, they say shahadat, but they are worse than these kafirs. No hope for them. So what did they do? There was a lot of blood that was shed, a lot of properties that were destroyed, a lot of oppression, a lot of cruelty, a lot of terrorism. The Ottoman Empire at that time, they stopped doing their work and they sent troops there to finish them off. What did they do? What did they do, those Najdis? What did they do? They did terrible things. What happened everywhere in the world right now is terrible. What is happening in Syria, it is terrible. What is happening in Kashmir, it is terrible. What is happening in Afghanistan is terrible. Everywhere else, what is happening in the West is terrible. But imagine this. how you want to say. If you're a Christian, say, imagine the Vatican. Okay? If you're a Buddhist, imagine your holy place. If you're Hindu or Sikh, imagine your holy place. Imagine now, in the holiest place, for example, the Vatican, you have a group of Christians that say, you follow wrong teachings. We're coming here to bring the right teachings. And they slaughter the priests and the nuns and the people who come to St. Peter's Square. They slaughter all of them. And they are supported by the enemies. That is worse than terrible. That happened with the Muslims. That happened in the history of Islam. They slaughtered the people who came to the Hajj. They disrupted the Hajj. People who came to the Hajj, they slaughtered them. Blood was running everywhere in the Haram Sharif. They went to the Rawza Sharif, to the grave of the Prophet ﷺ. They started attacking. They killing and hacking the arms of the people there. The soldiers, the Ottoman soldiers, that retreated but would not leave the presence of the Prophet ﷺ. In the city of Taif, there's a huge library there, huge learning center, especially devoted to the love of the Prophet ﷺ. They collected all the books, they tore them. They took especially the holy books written about the Prophet ﷺ, they tore open the leather covers and the covers of the holy books that in Islam we don't even put on the floor. That's why the Shaitan Wahhabis, you see in the masjid, they're reading Quran, they're leaving it on the floor. They're reading the Quran on the floor below their belly button, they're sitting down, feet pointing to the Qibla, and they're reading the Quran like it's a magazine. You understand? They tore those leather covers and they made them into shoes. They did all of that. Forget, we don't expect non-Muslims to understand this or to remember this. Because Muslims themselves, they don't know their history. Muslims themselves, they don't speak about this, they don't understand this. So now, you're talking about the tail end of the dragon that is hitting a couple of things. Bruh, wake up. That is the tail end. And don't worry, more is going to come out from that. Where was the head? When did it come? Who was hitting the head every time it came out? And who was letting the head to survive, to thrive, to feed it, to grow? Who supported Wahhabism? Who supported the Wahhabis in the beginning against the Ottoman Empire? The Arabs, they did. You're crying now. Supporting Sharif Hussein. That the British and the French say, why you have to follow these Turks? They're not even Arabs. Go fight against them. Rebel against the Khalifa, which is forbidden in Islam. Rebel against the Khalifa. We will make you to be the Khalifa. And they believed. They believed. They rallied all the Arabs together against the Ottomans, supported by the British and the French. You know Lawrence of Arabia? They make nice movie about him, huh? So those Wahhabis at that time, those Kharijis from before, that the Ottomans and the earlier Muslims, they keep chopping off the head and it goes back into the hole. The hole, it comes out again, and they keep chopping off the head. It goes back to the hole. This time, the monster came out, and other ones were the enemies of the Muslims. You cannot be a friend of the Muslims if we are doing this. Feeding it until it grows fat and big, and it started first to attack the Muslims. They destroyed all of the Hijaz. Don't you see? over 1,000 years of history, they completely destroyed it. And they put cheap malls that you can find anywhere in this world, and they put it there. And they put that ugly shaitanic clock tower that everyone knows is a symbol of Dajjal to look down to the Kaaba. And they built these hotels that the people say, oh, mashallah, we are nice staying in these nice hotels. These rich Muslims that are foolish going to the Hajj or to the Umrah like it is a vacation, not wanting to leave their hotel rooms, and say, you see, the Kaaba is just over there, very small, very tiny. It's surrounded by these modern idols. And they say, oh, look, it's the Kaaba, we pray. You see, Kaaba is at our feet. Who was supporting, who has been supporting, who is still supporting these Wahhabis? Because they know, as long as the Wahhabis they are there, the Muslims will never unite. And it is the purpose, openly they are saying, we must never make the sons of Islam to come together to unite again, not on any basis. And they succeeded. So what did they do? They destroyed, they murdered, they killed. And that ideology not only stayed in the Hijaz in Saudi Arabia, it spread everywhere else in the world, tearing up families and communities and nations, destroying tombs, destroying masjids, destroying areas of zikr, destroying even the idea of zikr, that now we have traveled all the way from the east to the west of this continent. How many masjids is open to us to make a zikr? If there's no remembrance of Allah, Allah is saying what? There is tyranny. If there's no remembrance of Allah in the masjid, there is going to be tyranny. And there is tyranny because terrorism, it is just a tool of tyranny. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, who is more cruel? Who is more tyrant than that one who forbid the zikr of Allah in the masjids? Tell me, is there zikr of Allah in the house of Allah? Is there zikr of Allah in the house of Allah? In the Baytullah? It's forbidden. So what do you expect? So what do we have to be apologized for? Why are we being apologetic for? We say, you did this to us 100 years ago. You did this to yourselves. You want to change? Stop feeding the monster. Stop supporting it. Do they want to do that? Of course they don't. We don't expect them to. They're going to keep on feeding because the monster is just there preparing the grounds for Dajjal to come. That's all. These are all soldiers of Dajjal. No matter how many candles they light, no matter how many songs they sing, the whole world can join hands together. They will never be united because the power is still in those hands who are evil. The power is not in the hand of the people. But they forget Allah. They forget Allah. And Allah is saying, I'm giving you this century for tyranny to become powerful. After that, wait for my justice. And we are here. We are preparing ourselves for that. And that justice is going to come, not from people singing songs, holding hands, not even the whole of the governments getting together asking for justice. Really? Well, let's say they do. That's not even going to work. Because this is the age of the Dajjaliyat. And the Dajjal is behind everything. So there's a split now. People are waking up. Now you're starting to see what is black and what is white. Now people are starting to see that black is white and white is black. What they present as white, it is black. What they present as black, it is white. Now, For you and for me, it is up to us now to make a decision. Where are you? You cannot sit on the fence anymore. No one is going to sit on the fence. You're going to say, who am I supporting? Make your decision. Be sincere. Live by it. Our intention is to keep ourselves clean. Our intention is to pull ourselves away from all this confusion. Our intention is never to support tyranny in any form, from any group, from any regime, from anyone who's saying that they belong to any religion. Pull ourselves out from all of that and wait for the Sahibu Zaman to come, the master of the time. You are not going to be able to welcome, to support, to be on the side of the master of the time if you don't know what is black and white. Inside and outside. If you are not going to understand the tyranny that you have inside and your shaitanic behavior, our Dajjalic behavior, if you don't understand that and get rid of it, that time is going to be confused for you too. Most likely we are going to be on the side of Dajjal. If you are concentrating on that, understanding it, and looking around and understanding that, we are preparing, inshallah Rahman, with the support of our Shaykh and our Grand Shaykh, we will be in the Siratul Mustaqim. Have no fear. This life, it is nothing for us. It's nothing. We are still here because we have some job to do. If we have a choice, we would not be here. Because our Shaykh is gone. Physically here, we want to follow him. We want to be where he is. But he's saying, stay back, pull back, and prepare. That's what we're doing. Our heart is not here. Don't make your heart to be here. Don't make your heart to circle around to your own little worlds, to your own little families, to your own little dunyas. Understand there is something that is big that is already happening. We are in it. But so many murids, you are getting so lost. We're pulling you away from the confusion to be up here to train and to live properly, and more you're falling into your own foolishness. We have to wake up. When the flood comes, it's not going to care who you are. Oh, I'm son of an awliya. Oh, I'm son of a prophet. Oh, I'm wife of a prophet. Oh, I'm children of an awliya. It doesn't care. It did not save. That title of son of a prophet did not save the son of Nuh alayhi salam from the flood. The title of the wife of the prophet did not save the wife of Lut alayhi salam from the curse. The title of children or the title of any title is not going to save you. What is going to save you? What is going to save you and me? It is taqwa. It is sincerity. It is obedience. May Allah grant us more obedience, inshallah, to our Shaykh. As you like. You can take these words any way that you want. You believe in it, you believe. You don't believe, who cares? My duty is just to say. May Allah forgive me and bless you. Fatiha.